Hi everybody, I'm Miss Shannon. Welcome to Wonderland Workouts. Today we're going to be working out to Goldilocks and the Three Bears. For this activity, we're going to be using our listening ears and we're going to listen for certain words that will go along with some of our poses. Our first pose is baby bear. We're going to come down into frog position and we're going to hold that. Our next pose is mama bear. We're going to come out, turn your feet out, and we're going to hold and squat down. This is called the goddess pose. For Papa Bear, we're going to stand straight, bring our arms out to the side, pretend like there's a string at the top of our head pulling us up to the ceiling, and we're going to hold. This is called mountain pose. When you hear Goldilocks, we're going to use prayer pose. You're going to stand with your feet hip width apart, and we're going to bring our hands to heart center and just hold. Anytime you hear the terms forest, woods, or trees, we're going to use tree pose. We're going to bring our foot to our calf, arms up in a V shape, and we're going to hold. If you have trouble with your balance, just put your foot on the floor. Anytime you hear the term sleeping, we're going to use corpse pose. We're going to lie down on our mat. We're going to get very comfy, shut our eyes, and just relax. When you hear the word chair, we're going to move into chair pose. Squat down, make sure your knees aren't going past your toes, and we're going to hold like we're sitting in a chair. Next, when you hear the word oatmeal, we're going to come down into squat position. We're going to pretend like we're holding a very big spoon, and we're going to stir the pot of oatmeal. In between all of our exercise prompts, we're just going to come to standing position, and we're going to move into that prayer pose. Okay friends, are we ready? Once upon a time there lived a girl named Goldilocks. She lived in a house at the edge of the forest. Now back in those days, we used to call hair locks, and Goldilocks was called Goldilocks because she had long golden locks of hair. One morning, Goldilocks was out for a walk through the woods, where her mother told her to never go. But Goldilocks didn't think of that. Goldilocks went deeper and deeper into the woods until she realized she was lost. She found a house and decided to knock on the door. Goldilocks went up to the door and knocked. No one answered. So then she knocked again. Still no one answered. Let's knock one more time. No one answered again, so Goldilocks decided to go in. When Goldilocks entered the house, she smelled a wonderful smell. There on the kitchen table stood 3 steaming bowls of oatmeal. I'm going to come down into squat position and we're going to stir our bowl of oatmeal. The oatmeal smelled wonderful and Goldilocks realized just how hungry she was. What Goldilocks did not know was that there were 3 bears that lived in that house. They had made oatmeal for breakfast that morning, but it was too hot. So they decided to go for a walk through the woods and let their oatmeal cool. Goldilocks looked at the steaming bowls of oatmeal. She said, "I'm sure that they won't mind if I take a bite of each." Goldilocks tried the first bowl. It was too hot. Then Goldilocks tried the second bowl. It was too cold. Goldilocks tried the third bowl, and it was just right. Goldilocks was eating that third bowl of oatmeal. It was just right. And before she knew it, the oatmeal was gone. After she got her tummy full, she decided to look for a place to sit. Goldilocks sat in the first chair, and it was too soft. So then she sat in the next chair, and it was just too hard. Finally, she tried the third chair, and it was just right. And Goldilocks leaned just a little bit too far back, and the chair broke, spilling Goldilocks to the ground. "Oh no," said Goldilocks. "The chair broke. Now what do I do?" Yawning, Goldilocks decided to take a nap. Goldilocks saw a ladder up to a loft. She decided to climb up there to see if she could find a bed. There were 3 beds, a big one, a medium one, and a small one. Goldilocks decided to try the first bed. "I'm sure whoever lives here won't mind if I take a nap. Let's try this first bed." So Goldilocks tried the first bed. and it was just too hard. So then Goldilocks decided to try the next bed, the medium-sized bed. It was just too soft. Goldilocks decided to try the third bed, the smallest bed. And it was just right, and Goldilocks quickly fell asleep. Just then the three bears came home. "Oh my, did somebody leave the door open?" said Mama Bear. "It surely wasn't me," said Papa Bear. "It wasn't me either," said Little Baby Bear. Slowly, the three bears stepped inside. They looked all around and their house looked very strange. Someone had been eating their oatmeal. Someone had broken the chair. "How strange," said Papa Bear. "Someone has eaten some of my oatmeal." "They've eaten my oatmeal too," said Mama Bear. "Oh no," said Little Bear. "They ate all of my oatmeal and all of it is gone." The three bears were very surprised, as you can imagine. They slowly stepped into their living room and had a look around. Papa Bear said, "Someone has been sitting in my chair." Mama Bear said, "Someone has been sitting in my chair." Baby Bear said, "Someone has been sitting in my chair, and look, it broke and fell to the ground." The three bears were so confused, and they decided to investigate further. They climbed up into the loft to see if they found anything strange up there as well. "Someone has been sleeping in my bed," said Papa Bear. "The blankets are all ruffled up." "Someone has been sleeping in my bed," said Mama Bear. "The pillows are all thrown about." "Someone has been sleeping in my bed," said Baby Bear. "And look, she's still there." Goldilocks bolted awake and noticed three bears staring over her. Goldilocks jumped out of the bed and climbed down the ladder. Then she took off out the front door and through the woods, never to be seen again. Namaste, friends.